So first I want to show you my supplies that I've been using. I got this really nice little trolley thing here that holds everything. Down here we've got some of the puppy pads. I have a special ring light for reborning. I also bought a washable, this goes over a mattress to protect it. It's waterproof. I bought that. I've got my sponges. Up here I've got lots of like folk art paint and like cheaper paints, most of which I already have. Some I purchased out of fear that I wouldn't be able to mix the colors that I wanted to mix. Up here we've got, under all this mess is my waterborne paint set that I primarily used to make my first Reborn. Oh, I like this little ball. It's got ridges in it, so rinsing brushes is really easy. I did purchase the brushes from Honey Buns. They're mixed in here with other brushes that I had. I've got a whole array, lots and lots of brushes, but I did primarily use the ones from Honey Bun. Trying to find some of them, they're all mixed up in there. And so yeah, I guess that's it as far as I've got my, I think that's the varnish back there, flow medium, slow dry. Got my wooden spoon to hold on to the head while I was painting. So that's my little get up, and let's get to the doll. Right, so I've been very nervous about showing you guys my very first Reborn that I've painted ever. Over here I have his certificate. This one would be the Tinky elf by Cindy Musgrove. I purchased the kit like forever ago from Enchanted Creatures. And the whole thing was really nerve-wracking. I've watched, oh, I'll put this back in later. I've been watching tutorials for about 2 years, and this was really, really scary, but I did it, and I can't believe I did it. So without further ado, I'm going to unveil him, and then we will look at some details. And there he is. Does anybody recognize who I tried to make that look like? That is my interpretation of Dobby the house elf from Harry Potter. You know, I'm a huge Harry Potter fan. So let's take a look. Okay, so I'm just holding my camera now. And he does stand on his own, but not as easily as I would like. And I knew if I unveiled him, he was just going to fall over. I do have him weighted in his feet with, Dobby now, with copper shot beads, because they are heavier by volume than the fine glass beads. Okay, I'm trying to get my lighting just right. But so he does have copper shot beads in his feet. Let's look at the feet while we're here. I could have done better. I could have done more with the feet. But I want to turn him over and show you. I like the back of his feet though. I do like how the heels turned out. I'm happy with that. So he's got the armature in him. Okay, so he is filled up to about here with copper shot beads. I tipped his little nails. That was not nearly as difficult as I thought it would be, actually, once I found the brush that worked for me. So his armature and the legs, I've got it packed with polyfill between the copper beads and where the armature starts. We've got his little knees. Now in the hands, I used the glass beads because I didn't want him to be top heavy, which is why I used the copper beads in the bottom. So for the hands, he's got glass beads. The armature starts like all the way up here. So we've got glass beads up into about the wrist, then packed with polyfill to keep the beads separate from the armature. And here's another little hand. I'm pretty happy with how the hands came out. I wasn't initially going to do veining on him, but I figured since he's my first doll, I should practice everything I possibly can. And oh, let's take a look. I don't remember if the belly, if the torso plate is included or if that was an extra purchase, but I did buy the torso plate, and every time I started painting, I started on his back. Now, he may look extra motley to you, but that was actually my vision. If you look at Dobby, he's not a solid color, and I didn't want him to look like a mottled baby doll. I wanted him to look like Dobby. Except if you notice that his little frock that he's wearing is not the same color as Dobby, and I just saw him that way. That's how I wanted. I sacrificed one of my favorite t-shirts to make this little frock. Now let's see. Mistakes were made, not gonna lie, but I'm still really happy with how he came out. I got some nice mottling on his head. We've got capillaries. I do have too much of a paint buildup here, and that's because I had trouble with the neutralizing layers. I felt like I wasn't seeing enough of a difference, and then I went a little overboard with the third neutralizing layer. But all in all, I am really, really happy with how he came out, pretty much just like I had envisioned him. Let's put you together there, Dobby. So that is my very first attempt at a reborn, and to me, I think I got the skin tone right as far as how I wanted it to be, how I saw my vision. His head turns very nicely, even though I put it on really tight, and then I was like, oh no, but his head actually still turns very nicely. The armature, he's not as movable as I'm trying to hold the camera and move his arm, as I expected. Of course, I don't have any dolls with this type of structure in my collection, but I figured that I do want him to be able to stand up. So let's try to move the light over here. The cord's not long enough. Well, in any case, this is my interpretation of Dobby, and I thank you guys so much for watching, and thank you to everyone who has made tutorials for me to watch for the past couple of years. So I think I'm not going to be as nervous going into my next one, and my next one will be the Bipsy elf. I know she's the one that she's right here in the corner with her eyes open. That's the Bipsy elf, and that's who I'm going to paint next. So thank you guys for watching. Thank you for being patient with me while I was gone for quite some time. And thank you for sharing in the joy of my very first reborn. Love you guys.